Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation on the science of reading and literacy instruction. My name is Amanda, and today I'm going to take you on a journey through some of the key frameworks and research that guides effective reading instruction for all students. We'll explore the science of reading, Scarborough's reading rote, and the simple view of reading. We'll also discuss the essential components of literacy and how they work together to create skilled readers. Finally, I'll share some classroom strategies that can help us put this knowledge into practice in our classrooms. Let's begin with the science of reading. The science of reading is a large body of research that tells us how children learn to read. This research comes from fields like cognitive psychology, linguistics, neuroscience, and education. One of the key findings is that learning to read is not a natural process. It must be explicitly taught. The science of reading emphasizes the importance of foundational skills like phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. By understanding this research, teachers can provide instruction that aligns with how the brain learns to read. This helps all students, especially those who struggle to become successful readers. Next, let's talk about Scarborough's reading rote. Developed by Dr. Hollis and introduced in 2001, this is a powerful visual model that helps us understand what skilled reading looks like. It shows how two broad areas, language comprehension and word recognition, are like strands of a rope that need to be woven together. Language comprehension includes vocabulary, background knowledge, language structures, and more. Word recognition includes phonological awareness, decoding, and sight recognition of words. As we teach students to read, we must strengthen all of these strands because they work together to create a strong rope. If any strand is weak, it can affect the whole rope, therefore affecting the child's whole ability to read. Let's take a look at the simple view of reading. The simple view of reading was created by Gow and Turner in 1986. It provides a clear formula for understanding how reading works. It tells us that reading comprehension is the product of two main skills, decoding and language comprehension. If a student is strong in decoding but weak in language comprehension, or vice versa, their reading comprehension will suffer. Hoover and Gow explain this as a multiplication model. The overall ability to comprehend a text is reduced if either skill is missing or limited. This model helps us identify where students need support, whether in decoding or understanding or comprehending the language. Let's take a closer look at the two critical components, language comprehension and decoding. Decoding is the ability to translate written letters into spoken sounds, and this is where phonics comes in. Language comprehension is the ability to understand the meaning of words and sentences. Both of these skills are essential for reading comprehension. For example, if a student can sound out a word but doesn't know what the word means, they won't really understand the text that they're reading. On the other hand, if they know the meaning of the words but they can't decode them to read them, they still won't be able to read fluently and understand. This is why we must teach both together. According to the science of reading, there are 5 essential components of literacy. The first is phonemic awareness, which is the ability to hear and manipulate individual sounds or phonemes in spoken words. Next is phonics, which connects these sounds to written letters, helping students decode words. The third component is fluency, which involves reading smoothly, accurately, and with expression. These 3 components form the foundation of early reading skills, and they must be taught explicitly and systematically to help students progress. The last 2 components of literacy are vocabulary and comprehension. Vocabulary is the knowledge of word meanings, and without it, students can't make sense of what they read. Comprehension is the ultimate goal of reading, where students combine decoding and vocabulary knowledge to understand the text that they're reading. As Gunning explains, these 5 components, phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, are interconnected. We can't just focus on one area. We need to provide balanced instruction that supports all of them. Now, these five components don't exist in isolation. They are deeply connected, and weakness in one area can and does impact others. For example, if a student struggles with phonemic awareness, they'll likely struggle with phonics and decoding as well. If a student has limited vocabulary, it will affect their comprehension because they don't know what some of these words mean. As teachers, we need to identify and support students in all areas of literacy to ensure that they develop into skilled readers. According to Moats and Gunning, comprehensive literacy instruction requires addressing all components, not just focusing on comprehension or phonics alone. So you may be wondering now, what can we do in our classrooms to support literacy development? Well, let's talk about specific strategies that we can use in our classrooms. First is creating a print-rich environment. It's very crucial. According to Gunning, when students see words and text everywhere, like in labels or posters, word walls, or charts, it reinforces vocabulary and word recognition. For example, labeling classroom objects like door or window will help early readers make connections between spoken and written language. A word wall can display high frequency words, new vocabulary, or sight words which students can use in their writing. Another powerful strategy is interactive read-alouds. Moats explains that read-alouds expose students to complex language, model fluency, and build comprehension skills. We can make read-alouds more meaningful by asking questions, making predictions, and discussing vocabulary before, during, and after reading. Incorporating shared reading opportunities where students read with the teacher helps build fluency as well. Also, it builds confidence and an understanding of text features. Together, these strategies can create a strong foundation for literacy and engage students in meaningful reading experiences. Another essential strategy is small group differentiated instruction. According to the science of reading, instruction should be explicit, systematic, and match to students' needs. By forming small groups, we can target specific skills like decoding, comprehension, or fluency. For example, one group in a small group may focus on blending CVC words, while another works on decoding and blending multisyllable words. Differentiated instruction allows us to scaffold learning by providing the right level of support to help students grow towards independence. We can also use multisensory learning, which engages students in hands-on activities like building words with magnetic letters, tracing letters in sand, table writing letters, or using movement to reinforce sounds. Gunning explains that multisensory approaches strengthens connections between sounds and letters in the brain. Lastly, we should provide culturally responsive text and learning materials. When students see themselves and their cultures reflected in books and lessons, they're more motivated and engaged. Together, these strategies build the five essential components of literacy and support students' diverse learning needs. In conclusion, the science of reading, Scarborough's reading rote, and the simple view of reading all guide us in understanding how to teach reading effectively. By focusing on the five essential components, phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, and recognizing how they all work together, we can help all students become confident, skilled readers. Our role as educators is to apply this research in practical, classroom-friendly ways so that every child has the opportunity to succeed. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for your commitment to support literacy in your classrooms. I hope you have a great day.